Have you ever noticed how, just when the stakes are at their highest, like right before a milestone event, your skin seems to have its own private little panic attack? Whether it's a sudden breakout, mysterious bumpy redness, or that one very sore and stubborn blind pimple that appears right before a big occasion, you're not alone. So many people experience this unique kind of vulnerability when everything, especially emotions and expectations, are all dialed up. But why does it always seem like our skin chooses the most inappropriate moment to act out? And how can you respond with self-compassion and solutions that will actually work instead of harsh steroids and endless TikTok scrolling for, let's face it, questionable remedies? I am proud to have met and interviewed the experienced Australian skin therapist Amelia Goff from Fresh Face Skin. That is really hard to say. In our personal chat, she unpacks why stress and hormonal shifts can cause those frustrating flare-ups that we know so well, and perhaps more importantly, how to meet them with science, care, and calm. Amelia shares relatable stories of her clients who have worked through skin challenges in the lead up to their wedding and how listening closely to what both their body and skin was saying to them led to clearer skin and more confidence in general. And this is because Amelia's approach isn't about perfection, but rather discovering what it really means to feel comfortable and radiant on the inside and out. And that is why she and her team offer a free FREE 15-minute online skin consultation to anyone in Australia. And I pushed her a little bit further on that, and she did say she could work out things for overseas as well. And in these online skin consultations, her team works out exactly what you need as an individual, because everyone's so very different when it comes to their skin. And she's got another special offer just for you. Amelia and Fresh Face Skin are offering a 20% discount on your first purchase of their products, available until the 31st of December, 2025. Just use the code Unbridely at checkout. So that's UNBRIDELY at checkout for the Fresh Face Skin products, and take advantage of this opportunity to up-level or perhaps even start a skincare routine to look after your beautiful skin. A quick disclaimer before we jump in: the information that I discussed with Amelia was just that, for information only. It is not specific advice. So if you take action following something you've heard in the podcast, it's really important that you make sure you get professional advice about your unique situation before you proceed, whether that advice may be legal, financial, accounting, medical, or other advice. So I had to get that in there. And yes, I cried again during this interview. It seems that I'm still carrying scars, both metaphorically and physically, from my decades-long battle with cystic acne. And this important discussion got me right in the feels. I hope that it means that you'll get a lot from it too. Let's get stuck into it.
Unbridely is a community of pro-wedding vendors who believe in freedom and integrity in weddings, giving you options, solutions, tips and tricks to create the experience and memories that you and your fiancé really want and deserve. Because we believe that weddings are a team sport. With how-tos, stories and interviews with recently married couples, we find out what went right and what they'd change if they could go back and do it all over again. I'm Camille, and welcome to the Unbridely podcast.
Hi, Amelia. Thank you so much for jumping on the podcast with me. I know that you are such an incredibly busy person. And I also know that you're not a 19-year-old TikToker who is like pushing some sort of terrible, wacky new beauty regime on us. I know this, but my listener doesn't know this. So first up, if you could share who you are, where you are, and what you do.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I always make time to share skin knowledge where I can. And I think, as I was just saying to you, brides that are leading up to their big day, it's such a big time and we've got so much pressure that we put on ourselves. So where I can as a skin therapist within my business and to support these women, that's what I love. So I'm really happy to be here today sharing all my tips and tricks with you all. But some things about me, I'm Amelia Goff. I'm the founder and owner of Fresh Face Skin. We are an Australian-wide, natural, toxic-free, synthetic-free skincare range, and we are an e-commerce online business. So we support thousands and thousands of people with their skin. We have online consults and skin therapists that support people all around Australia. And I also have a Melbourne skin clinic that does the exact same but professionally hands-on treatment-wise with clients. So we provide holistic support, internal, external support where we can with the treatments that we offer in salon.
I'm so excited to talk to you. I want to get all the stuff.
So excited. I've been a skin therapist for coming up to 15 years now. I'm really excited to share what I know and how I can support you today.
So, I really find, because often I'm talking with wedding-specific vendors and, how to help couples basically navigate the whole thing. Your perspective, Amelia, is not just wedding day. Of course, there is that added pressure that all the photos and all the videos and everyone looking at you. But your gift is that, you can pass your knowledge on for life for these people.
Well after the wedding day. Yeah. And I think for a lot of women, we have a vast variety. We have some women that come in that have been looking after their skin and receiving skin treatments professionally and using skincare for years, but actually just want to check in and make sure that everything is looking its best for the day so they feel confident. But we've got other women that have never done anything with their skin. And they've always had, I guess, challenges with their skin, but now they're aware, okay, this is my big day. I'm going to be, wearing makeup. I want my makeup to last. I want my photos to look as best as they can. I want myself to feel as good as possible on the day. So we also deal with women that have really never delved into the skincare world. So we've got vast variety, but the number one thing that we love is just supporting these women and the lead up.
That's so cool. All the best professionals, Amelia, are educators. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love that's where you're coming from.
Yeah. Education's a big part of Fresh Face Skin, massive, because I think it's one thing to start a skincare routine or to receive a treatment, but to actually walk away or to leave a site and have more deeper understanding and knowledge on what your skin is trying to say.
Yeah.
That's where the power lies, because then you can truly understand, I guess, how to look after your skin and what to choose and what to listen to and maybe what not to listen to. And this is so important in the lead up to the wedding, especially.
Yes. And one of the topics that I really wanted us to delve deep into, because there's so many things with skin, of course, but around weddings in particular, and I'm sure you've seen it, a lot of brides, a lot of grooms, a lot of people getting married, they're going through the stress. They've got hormonal changes going on. Mm-hmm. They've got so many external requirements of them, and their skin reacts in a really violent way to let you know, right? You were talking about the messages that your skin gives you. So how do you see stress affecting skin, like especially in terms of hormonal breakouts, flare-ups, things like that?
I mean, stress, we have stress, this underlying stress, everyday life, don't we? Most of us. It's always there to some degree. And I don't think stress is the bad guy. It's just when stress gets too much for the body to cope with, that the skin will then present with signs that it's under pressure. And I think one of the most important things here is actually to listen to that. If your skin is playing up, and it doesn't play up like this usually, it's a very big reminder. It's like almost a push to slow down, although it's probably the opposite of what you want. Your body is needing it. And I always like to say the stress, or your skin is your largest organ. It will always show us what is internally imbalanced or what is going on. So it's important to listen to it. But yeah, I guess in the lead up to a big day, and for the women, a lot of the planning genuinely, in a generalization, it falls on us. So there's a lot of pressure that we're holding. There's a lot of management and plan that's gone into the big day. And I do believe in those few months in the lead up, that's when we start to see women sort of with skin that's breaking out, that's quite inflamed, that's sensitized. And these are all direct results of a spike in that cortisol and then that effect in our female hormones, basically. And that adjustment in hormones, that spike in cortisol, causes our sebum, our oil, to thicken and therefore create these, I guess, blockages in the pore, related to this sudden change internally, and that change is directly impacting the quality of our skin's oil. So what we start to see is sort of lumpy, bumpiness, breakouts, obviously inflammation, because we also have hormones that are adjusted that give our skin resilience and barrier support. So we start to see some skins that are quite inflamed and sensitive and reactive all of a sudden. Or we see
out of
some
nowhere.
Out of nowhere. So cheeks, redness on the cheeks, dehydration, tightness, or we see, those hormonal breakouts across the jawline, the chin, the cheeks, which are directly impacted by that stress. So it's very, very common. And I guess I'm here today to share some tips as to not only how to prevent that from happening, but to also treat it, how best to treat it gently for long-term skin support rather than quick fixes on the lead up to the big day.
I love metaphors.
Mm.
So when you were talking about your skin basically sending you a message that you need to listen to, all I could think of was a little 2-year-old toddler, who when all their needs are met, they can be okay. They can be okay. When their needs are not met, they act out and they immediately act out, and there's no barrier. And I've never really thought of it that way, that, your skin's sending you messages all the time.
Constantly. And I think the sad thing with this, it's not sad, but it's reality. A lot of us don't actually think about our skin until it plays up. We think about, I guess, how important its role is in protecting us and regulating temperature and externally, providing us with this confidence. Because when it's not playing up, it's just not on our mind. But the minute that it is playing up, that's all we then think about.
Yeah.
So I think, my biggest advice when these things start to happen, especially in the lead up to the wedding, is to take a breath for starters and to just sort of take a moment to digest what's going on, a reminder that your skin's telling you it's struggling. And rather than, say, jumping on TikTok or blogs or chemists and trying to get like a quick fix, just take a moment to sort of rationalize what's going on, because that's what we start to see. We start to see women that have sort of applied these short-term fixes, and it's actually, it did dry out or it did clear it very quickly, but then it's been 2 weeks now and it's even worse. And now it's only 1 month till their wedding,
Yes.
So it's just about taking a moment to really gather yourself and then trust in the professionals. Speak to friends, speak to family, people that you do trust, see if they've got any recommendations, because the wide web can be a very big, overwhelming place for skin support.
Yeah, it's an incredible rabbit hole now, but it can also take you down paths that are just not helpful. Yeah. I love your mindset shift there, Amelia, because I guess what we think is that the best way to deal with our skin is topical. It's on the outside. I can put stuff on it. I can cleanse it with stuff. I can, smear it with a mask, whatever it might be, rather than thinking, what is driving that? I love it. So some of the best strategies you recommend for clients to reduce this stress-related skin issue, taking a really big, deep breath, thinking about it,
just being
not
rational,
overreacting.
Yeah.
Anything else that you would recommend?
Absolutely. So once you've gathered yourself, then obviously it's really important to find somewhere where you can gather some, proper, appropriate information. Fresh Face Skin is obviously somewhere where we love to support people, whoever you are on your skin journey. And this is why I offer free online consults, because I find that skin is so personal, so connected, and you can get so lost in the web or what you're reading, blogs, TikTok, these social media accounts, and not quite understand what you're specifically needing, and what might work for someone else doesn't always work for you. So I think professional advice where you can, and just being really aware of who you're listening to. But overall, for brides, whether they've got great skin and they want to maintain it for their day, or whether their skin is playing up due to stress, some of my staples is to keep it simple. So rather than all of a sudden thinking more is more because my skin needs more, actually take a moment to strip it back. So if you're someone that's used a big 8 to 10 step routine for a long time, but your skin's actually playing up all of a sudden and it hasn't prior, then that would be my advice to sort of strip back to 2-3 products morning and night, as much as you probably don't want to do that, and focus on water and oil. And this is the same for someone that may not use a lot of products. Strip it back, focus on ingredients like niacinamide, high quality niacinamide product, hyaluronic acid, vitamin B5, panthenol, all very calming, soothing ingredients, great for the barrier. A nice light blend of oils, something that's quite easy to absorb into the skin, but it's going to calm inflammation and protect that barrier. Because after all, when the skin's playing up like this, of course it's internally linked, but it is also externally linked to that barrier disruption. So if we can focus on hydration-based ingredients and oil-based ingredients, we can start to strengthen that outer layer, that protective layer, and get our skin back to a more balanced state. So that's the goal. And I think the most important thing to remember is to give your skin a little bit of breathing space. It actually just needs hydration. And a lot of us are dehydrated. Actually, on average, 97% of us are dehydrated in Victoria especially. So just making sure that your skin's holding water and keeping water by working with those sort of ingredients will just give it a moment to regulate itself, to be able to heal, to balance its functionality, to be able to naturally exfoliate itself so that you're looking more brighter and even and smoother in texture, all the good things. So simple is always our go-to when we're dealing with brides. We also want to focus on hydration. You know, when we are busy, when we are stressed, we're probably not drinking on that 2 litres of water a day.
Internally.
And this is, you know, that important factor of that internal hydration. So we're working externally, but internal is really important. With that, my absolute go-to internal supplementation for ongoing skin health and support is a high-quality omega-3. So something that's actually going to not only calm internal inflammation when the skin's inflamed externally, but also make sure that our skin cells are super healthy. They're coated with this beautiful outer layer and they're able to hold nutrition and hydration. So if your internal skin cells are hydrated and plump, externally we see that in the skin. So we always get clients, especially anyone leading up to a big event like a wedding, on a high quality omega-3. And do make sure that you're checking the quality. Make sure that you're looking at how it's farmed, if it is farmed, if they're wild caught fish, how it's packaged, and also the EPA and the DHA levels of your omega. So this is all very, very important to make sure that you're making the right choice and not going down something, you know, of taking something that could even be worse for the skin, which can be the case with cheap supplements.
Can I ask you, Amelia, do you have certain recommendations around those omega-3 supplements?
Yeah, JS Health, which is a great Australian brand, do a really high quality omega-3, which is easily accessible at Chemist Warehouse. And Nordic Naturals is my go-to. That's my number one that I recommend anyone to. So you can get them at iHerb, so an ultimate omega from Nordic Naturals in a liquid or capsule form. And I'd be looking at, I mean, of course, this isn't medical advice, but this is a skin specialist that's done this for, 14 years now. I would be recommending a teaspoon of their liquid and about 5 of their small capsules a day. With JS Health, we tend to recommend about 4, so 2 in the morning, 2 at night. And that's just enough to keep your skin in a nice balanced state, because we know that the skin's the last organ to receive that internal nutrition. So it's just ensuring that you're receiving enough of that high quality omega-3 to make a difference to the skin's oil and barrier and hydration.
And how far in advance should engaged people be thinking about starting something internal, like a supplement? I
think, these days, like I said, a lot of us do live busy lives, and although we may not feel stressed, it's just that constant in us. And I think it's just being aware of how you manage stress in the most stressful situations, because it may or it may not happen. You may shock yourself, you may be the most easygoing bride. Something may happen, and, that's the tip of the iceberg for you. And then we have these complications coming through in the skins. I think just be aware of how you deal with your own stress levels, and then perhaps look at something, 6 months leading up to the big day to get your body in a balanced state. Another great supplement for skin, but also the nervous system, is magnesium, a high quality magnesium. just to allow your
Yeah.
nervous system to settle.
Big
Your body.
fan of magnesium, I got to tell you, for sleeping. And then my husband gets like cramping and stuff.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, JS Health also do a really good high quality magnesium powder. So that's something that's just going to regulate the nervous system, keep it, at a healthy state, and also allow you to sleep and give you that quality of sleep, which we know goes hand in hand with skin renewal and healing. It's all part of it. Stress management. So a nice dose of magnesium is a really great way to maintain healthy nervous system support in the lead up to your wedding. And yeah, looking at it 6 to 3 months prior. Definitely.
Any other sort of recommendations for strategies for dealing with these issues?
Yeah, I think another really powerful one is understanding how your gut processes foods. This is something we deal with daily, online and in person with women, and we have to understand.
You're going to have to go deeper. For me, I'm like, what the hell? Okay, yeah, sorry, go.
The skin and the gut have a communication axis, we call it, and they talk to each other every single second of every day. So if there is any inflammation or there's foods that maybe you're not quite tolerating, your gut's obviously going to show us. It's going to tell us signs, and that usually comes with some discomfort or bloating. And if we tend to ignore it ongoing, and then we add some, say, stress and things like that, that also inflames the gut, then we start to see it coming through in the skin. So it is quite linked. So I love brides, anyone that's prepping for a big day that has had skin issues and they want to work on their skin, to start a bit of a food diary for 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and just circle the days where you get some bloating, or circle the 2 days prior where you may have had a big breakout come. And that's not just for, say, foods, it's also for our hormones, our cycle as a woman, so that we can start to understand how our skin is reflecting what's going on internally. And what that actually gives you is power, because you're actually understanding your skin and what your body's doing and saying. So if, say, you're eating gluten, or if you're saying you're eating dairy and you're getting this bloating and your skin's flaring up a few days later, that gives us some indication. Maybe that's not processing the way it should, or maybe I've got some inflammation when I eat those foods. So why don't I just try cutting it out for 2 weeks and see how my skin goes? Why not? You've got the time to start this in the lead up to your wedding. And I mean, by all means, if you can afford it budget wise, and you're listening to this and you've had issues for a long time, and perhaps now you're getting a light bulb moment of maybe it is a bit of
I can imagine
as well.
Yes.
Then by all means, research a naturopath. We work hand in hand with some naturopaths, and they're great at just getting the body back into a balanced state and really making sure that your gut is stable and strong, because when your gut's strong and stable and balanced, so is the skin. So that's probably another really big one. I think if anyone's had a lot of issues, take control now. Like if you've got a 12-month engagement, start listening to your body and your skin's needs now, so you have more control in the lead up to your wedding day of your skin and how it's responding.
That's so good, Amelia. You were saying maybe like being able to see the patterns is super helpful. When I eat this, then this happens, then this happens. Obviously, diarising it, I'm terrible at remembering, what happened last week.
Yeah, me too.
So, I can imagine you've got to write it down, and especially if you're experiencing quite significant discomfort and things, then, that's the way to go. So how do you think, I mean, I'm guessing the diary is a part of it, but how can people differentiate between normal hormonal breakouts, or I guess what your baseline normal is? I guess everyone's different, and other skin concerns that might need professional treatment right before their wedding?
So common presentations of skin sort of conditions that pop up pre-wedding, especially during, that stressful period, is hormonal acne. That's probably the number one, for reasons that we've discussed, being stress, impacting the hormones, causing that oil to change its consistency and therefore cause those breakouts to form in the first place. If you're going to get a hormonal breakout, it'll often be for women around the jawline, it'll be around the chin area. They usually are quite large, painful, we call them cystic breakouts, are sore to touch.
Yeah, why is that?
all part of the joy of being a woman, Camille. Every month. Yeah, so you will get those breakouts across the jawline, chin, quite painful, quite sore, and that would be directly linked to hormonal changes. And for some women, 1 or 2, I get 1 or 2 pre-period, 1 or 2 weeks prior when I'm ovulating, that can be really normal. But if you're getting, let's say, a significant amount, let's say 5, 10 plus, and you're finding that they're sort of lingering for a week, 10 days, then they settle and you've sort of got 1 to 2 weeks of clarity, or not even clarity, because when those big guys actually heal, we're left with a bit of a mark.
Yeah.
Not
It
scarring.
looks dark red and...
Yeah, and it isn't scarring for those that are listening. It is just, as we call it, post-inflammatory pigment or erythema. It's just a slight discoloration left in the skin from the inflammation. And I promise you, when you're on the right products and you're getting some professional treatments, that can lift very easily. So don't stress yourself about
that's good news.
Yeah, because we hear that a lot. A lot of women are upset by that mark and they think it's forever, it's scarring. It's not. It's just the aftermath of the inflammation and the breakout. And it will go. Skincare will assist with it, and so will treatments. But yeah, and they're just clearing, and then we get more. And it's like,
yes,
I can't get a break. Well, that's when I would recommend. There's definitely an imbalance going on, and I would definitely recommend you to seek out either a naturopath or some support internally. Fem21 is also an amazing Australian-made and owned hormonal supplement for women only.
Okay.
And that is amazing, actually. A lot of our brides are on that. And you can go onto her website and have a look at that. She's a naturopath. And it's 21 herbs that support stress, liver, gut support, and female hormones, progesterone and estrogen in particular. So just working on balancing that to make sure that your skin is supported hormonally. We also see a lot of dermatitis come in pre-wedding, and dermatitis is not acne, although a lot of women mistaken it as acne. It looks more like a rash. So little tiny red dots, normally around the lip, the mouth, the nose area, and they are red, but they're not big like, say, a cystic breakout. Don't have that swollen look, and they're not a large bump. They're sort of tiny, rash-like is the best way for me to explain it. And this skin condition is also inflammatory, very, very much linked to stress, and we do see it a lot in brides. The biggest advice I can give you is just be aware of what you're applying to it, because you can go to the chemist, you can get, say, a cortisone cream, you can just quickly apply something. But what we do see is sometimes we see a little bit of the aftermath, like a bounce back effect that clears it and then actually worsens pre-wedding. Less is more with that skin condition.
Am I right? Cortisol is quite harsh.
Very harsh. It's a steroid essentially, and it will strip the barrier completely. It'll constrict the blood. So it'll very quickly clear what you're seeing, but long term or after that clearing, we see the skin getting addicted to it. We see the skin bouncing back with an even higher response. So just be aware of sort of the decisions you're making in that moment. That's why I like to say to take your breath. Yes. These are all normal responses when we are a little stressed. And it is your body's way of saying, let's settle. But again, with both of these conditions, this is all about simplifying the routine. So trying to remember that less is more here. So making sure you're hydrating your skin with, say, high quality hyaluronic acids, like I said, niacinamide, B5, panthenol. These are all amazing ingredients for both of these skin conditions. But both of these skin conditions are inflamed skin conditions. They are quite stagnant in the skin. So I would recommend seeking an expert's support and help. So going to a skin clinic and getting the expert advice on how to support it, because they can be quite stubborn if not treated correctly.
My God. Like we don't have enough going on.
I know.
You still haven't written your vows yet, have you? Let me help. In around 20 minutes or so, you can easily write personalised wedding vows unlike anything you've heard before, that will make your fiancé feel like the most loved, understood and appreciated person on the planet. The How to Write Wedding Vows That Don't Suck
instant download 17-page PDF ebook walks you through a step-by-step format for your vows, how to find the right words and phrases to describe your feelings and your fiancé, how to write that crucial first draft, and create your final wedding vows masterpiece. So if you don't know how or even where to start, if you've been Googling your little heart out, or if you've been calling them wedding vows, AEIOU, this ebook is for you. Included in there are also some bonus secrets for getting the most out of your wedding ceremony. So make sure you download your copy right now and get Write Your Wedding Vows crossed off your to-do list today. The link is in the show notes.
I would say, Camille, they're the top two skin conditions that present in the lead up to a big day where we really need to hone in on our support with that client, because it's not a really easy fix. And they can be quite common because they're so highly linked to the nervous system.
Yeah, as you said right at the top, everybody's needs and skin and, you know, their background and everything is so specific to them.
Yeah.
Did I hear you right that you offer free online skin consultation?
Yeah. Yep. For this reason, because the feedback we've gotten is just that women and men are so overwhelmed. They just don't know, they really don't know where to begin, and they don't know who to trust, or they have, you know, spent hundreds on skincare because they did trust the brand and their skin's worsened, or they haven't received the support they were hoping, or whatever. Yeah, my goal is to just support people that are wanting to feel truly confident in their skin. I mean, brides, this is one of the biggest days of your lives, and it's more than just how you look, it's actually how you feel in your body when you step into that day. And the more confident that you feel, the more you're going to just relax and enjoy that day, and you know, not listen to those words that are popping into your head all day questioning your appearance. We want you to feel your absolute best. So I think support and education and clarity around skin health is what I'm truly passionate about, because the more true understanding that you have around your skin, the more clear you are on the choices that you're making to support your skin and how to look after it and what to listen to and maybe what to question as well.
So important. And I'm guessing because of the little table of beautiful products behind you, that you put your money where your mouth is, and your products have all those beautiful things in it that you were just talking about.
Yeah, so we focus on using natural ingredients sourced from nature, don't have synthetics, toxins, artificial fillers that essentially strip the skin long term, strip that beautiful barrier that we're all about. So the range that we have is a range of 14 coming up to 16 products. So it's a large range, but it doesn't need to be complex. We're a large range so that we can really personalise the routine for whatever the skin needs, or whatever the budget is, or the lifestyle is, so that everyone feels that they're supported with their skin. But it really can be as simple or as complicated as you wish. And we are also really affordable, which I think is very important, especially in the lead up to your big day. Yeah, and this is just a nice way to support yourself, create some self-care rituals as well in these moments of busyness, but also be able to sustain those results, because you can continue this routine that you've built in the lead up to your wedding after the wedding day, and really continue to look after yourself and your skin.
Yeah, it's a great excuse, isn't it, to finally, you know, grow up and look after your skin beyond maybe a little bit of soap in the shower. Yeah. I like that. Do you have any examples of clients who have come to you, you know, to control hormonal breakouts, and with your guidance, you know, hopefully managed to get over those? Yeah, I'd love to hear any stories that you've got, Amelia.
We have so many, to be honest, Camille. We support so many brides in clinic. It's one of our most favourite things that we do. So we'll have clients come in and they'll mention they've just gotten engaged, and then we offer a free phone call, like an event plan phone call, because I think what we don't realise in the moment is there's actually so many appointments that go around your big day. So we try to give as much advice as possible as to when to start your skin treatments, work out the correct interval that works for you and your skin needs and goals, budget, and then also plan around, say, your HEMS. spray tans, any other appointments that you have that may affect the skin and professional treatments of skincare and things like that. So we like to really personalise it, which I think is important. But yeah, we have so many stories. We've had women come to us that have had, cystic acne or, dermatitis that has forever been sort of playing up and then settling and playing up and settling, and they're just coming in and they're worried that they don't trust their skin, basically. They don't trust what it's going to do next.
Yeah. I don't know what this thing's going to do.
Because they've, had a lot of concerns.
Yes.
And they've managed it to a point, but it still plays up consistently, up and down, ebbs and flows. So they come to us actually wanting to get their skin. Their goal is to get their skin to a balanced state where they don't even need to wear makeup. So that's usually the goal they have. And then obviously with that, they say, I want my makeup on the day to go on beautifully. Like, I don't want these bumps anymore. I want it to look smooth in texture and I want it to last because I'm hydrated or whatever. So yeah, they're the goals we get. And then it starts from there, and it is a commitment. I'm going to say that it is, especially if you've had skin struggles. It really it has to be a consistent commitment, because on average it can take 4, 6, sometimes even 8 to 12 weeks for us to see true skin change coming through, because depending on the person and how long this has been going on, the skin can be imbalanced and has to go through almost a purging effect in its rebalancing stage. So sometimes it actually can get a little worse before we start to see it come through and clear up, and for the long term as well. So this is why we try and recommend minimum 6 months, although we've worked well with women that have only had 3 months. But this is why, just getting, I guess, a routine, but also in-salon treatments that suit a budget and lifestyle is so important. And for those that are listening, because if it's realistic for your lifestyle and your budget, then you are going to do it long term. You are going to commit to it to your wedding day because you can. It's realistic. So I think that's really, really important. The more realistic it is, the better. So be honest with whoever you're seeing for guidance around this. And yeah, we often say to the brides, please tag us in your getting ready stories, if you're doing any, or your professional pictures on the day, because we love seeing the end result. It's like we've been with you, holding your hand, supporting you, guiding you, educating you, and then to see you on your day and to hear the words that we have. I mean, we've had women say, I couldn't have done it without you. The makeup artist could not believe how porcelain-like or glass-like my skin looked on the day, and it was truly due to your guidance and your support. Thank you. And we always say, well, it's thanks to you too,
because you've got to hang in there.
Yeah, but you've done the work. So well done, for being so committed to your skin's health and your skin journey on the lead up to your big day. And these are women that have stuck to everything. They've taken it quite seriously. If there's been supplements, they've been on top of their supplements, and whatever their routine's been morning and night, they've committed to that. If they've come in every 4, 6, 8 weeks, whatever it looks like for the professional treatments, they've come in, they haven't cancelled, and the results in the end day result. And it's beautiful to hear their words and to see their pictures and their skin glowing.
Yeah.
The best thing.
I just did want to ask though, Amelia, when you use the term
you and me both.
There's, of course, on social media in particular, people who are airbrushed, the photos are airbrushed.
Yes.
To the point where they look like plastic dolls and there's no pores and it's just all smooth and glossy. And I mean, I'm looking at you now and I'm like, you've got the most gorgeous skin. It's hard to believe that that's not all airbrushed. But I wondered whether you had any comments about that, about, the current trend. I see a lot in especially Facebook groups for couples getting married and brides in particular. And they're going, I have my makeup trial. And they'll have a close-up photo, and they're holding the skin right near their nose and they're like, look at this. And it's like, yeah, you've got pores.
Yeah.
Personally, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Congrats, you've got pores. Yeah. But I was wondering whether you had any comments about that.
Well, I mean, everyone's got their own style of makeup that they like as well, so that's a personal thing. There's some women that love that airbrushed look for their big day and some that love the luminous, more natural look, and it's each to their own. But what I do have to say when it comes to porcelain-like skin, I really do say that in a way that the skin looked healthy, hydrated, plump. It had an even, bright, healthy tone to it. But by no means do I mean it is poreless, because there is no such thing as poreless skin. There's no such thing as a skin that has absolutely no fine lines, no pores, no vellus hair. This is skin, and our skin is such an important organ. I mean, sometimes we lose the respect for our skin that it deserves. It's so much more than appearance, what it actually does for us. And I think we need to remember that, there's filters everywhere, as well. There's filters in so many posts where people won't even let us know. We don't really know what we're looking at these days. We've got AI as well. So we have to be really aware of what we're taking in and how we're speaking to ourselves, because what we're seeing isn't always what's real. And I think that's a really important thing to remember. What I see as a healthy skin is a healthy, bright tone, a smooth texture, and clean pores and clear skin. But we are going to have perhaps a little bit of vellus hair. We may have a little bit of pigment here and there from, past pregnancies or babies, sun that just accumulates here and there. We can work with it, but it may never fully go away. We're going to see a few fine lines when we smile. We're going to see a few lines. I mean, that's like life, isn't it? That's our memories in our skin and our face. So I think we just have to remember there's so much beauty in being natural, and there is no such thing as porcelain skin that's flawless. It is not actually a thing, and it's never something that I aim for when we're treating the skin either. We try and allow the skin to be balanced in its most balanced state, and it will appear like that, but by no means do we want to remove pores or tighten pores to a degree where the skin starts to look unreal. That's not sort of the skincare range or skin clinic that we are personally. It's not a long-term sustainable thing. We're all aging, and the skin isn't designed to be like that either. So It's just about supporting it the best way we can.
I really like that. I really like that philosophy, Amelia. Yeah, I've lost family, I've lost friends, over my life, and I think you get to a certain age and you go, yeah, sustainable is important. Aging is important, and it's a gift.
It's a gift.
Do you know what I mean? And to see little things on your face, I wouldn't say that I would never have treatments that might change the appearance of my skin in the future. I would never say never. But I also think, it's an absolute honour to be alive, to be human, to be healthy. And I'd always put that before, maybe looking like a plastic
appearance.
A plastic version of me. Yeah. I really appreciate your perspective on that. Thanks, Amelia. That's great.
Important. And I think for brides leading up to the big day, there's this pressure that we put on ourselves as women, because there is an expectation that we all put on ourselves. But sometimes it's just checking in on yourself and making sure you're speaking kindly to yourself, because you're doing the best you can. Your skin's doing the best it can with what it's got right now. And you can make the choice to support it more. But it's beautiful, like it's showing you what it needs to show you as well. Like respect that and listen to it a little bit more.
I love that. That it's not just, something aesthetic. It's not just the covering on our little head. It's our body. It's our organ.
It's deeper than that. Yeah.
Bring at the start, when you said holistic, Amelia, I'm going, the word's used a lot. And I thought, how on earth do you weave that into, beautiful skincare and treatments and advice? And I get it now. Thank you. It sounds like, with the holistic thing, that you're very much about preventing your skin from acting out like a 2-year-old before we get there. Are there any other things that you wanted to pass along, any other professional tips for people going, how do I get ahead of this?
So I just think, like I've said it a couple of times now, that less is more, and I really do mean it. So when the skin is playing up, just remember, although you may want to reach for the harsh scrub, the glycolic resurfacing pads, or maybe the spot treatment that's highly alcohol-based to dry up the breakouts or whatever it is, just remind yourself that your skin's telling you something, and it's also showing you inflammation because your barrier is struggling. And if the barrier is struggling and you're applying those sort of harsh ingredients to the skin, because I understand short term it may give you some relief, but long term I can guarantee, especially in the lead up to an event, your skin is going to bounce back harder in ways. You're going to see more inflammation, more sensitivity, more playing up. So try and pull back from, the harsh cleansers, the harsh exfoliators, the harsh spot treatments. And like I said, focus more on your high quality hydrating ingredients, your light blend oils, just to begin. And I can guarantee you'll start to see your skin settle in redness. You'll start to see it healing a little bit quicker on its own, which is what we want. And then once we get the skin to a more balanced, stable state, of course we can incorporate some exfoliators and some more active ingredients to work on whatever the concern is. But I can guarantee just pulling back when you want to actually do more isn't going to be the long-term thing. It's not going to be the long-term success that you're hoping for, especially in the lead up to a special date. So that's probably the most important thing, because we do see that a lot. I think it's really important just to remind yourself that less is more and to focus on barrier support as well.
I'm not sure what your answer is going to be on this one, Amelia, but with that 15-minute free consultation that you're talking about, do you restrict that? Is that just Australia? Is it international? How do you run that?
So it's Australia-wide. It's booked basically, you can go to the section on freshfaceskin.com.au that says video consults. You can put in your details, request your time, and our customer service team will get back to you when we've got therapists that are available within your time slots. And then we can go ahead and book it in for you. So I've got a team of 8 dermal clinicians. So they've actually studied skin at university. It's amazing to be able to utilise these amazingly talented, knowledgeable women that love supporting other women, anyone with their skin, not only in person in salon, but Australia-wide. So we do these consults via Zoom. They're 15 to 20 minutes. We get you to fill out a consult form prior once the appointment's booked, which is pretty brief, but gives us an understanding of what's going on, maybe what's going on internally, what you're using externally in your skincare, so we can sort of start to understand what's at play here, what may be contributing to what's going on, and then give you as much advice and education in that, say, 20-minute time frame that we can. And then we follow it up with a customized email so that you have everything that we've discussed, the routine we've discussed, the supplements, the information on where to get them, so that you feel clear and supported.
Yeah. I think that's incredible.
Well, because
that's
I'm just trying
amazing.
to cut through the noise. Yeah. Trying to cut through the noise a little bit.
Yeah. Brilliant. What about for my overseas listeners? Like, can they purchase your products overseas?
Unfortunately, no, we're Australia-wide currently. They can book a consult if they wish. And of course, look, at the moment we're Australia-wide, but we can always work out shipping. We've got a great shipping company, Careers, that we use. We have work with New Zealand currently, but we haven't really branched out. Look, we can always work with you. So if you're listening to the words that I'm saying right now and you're resonating and you really feel like you're connecting to what I'm saying, please reach out, because obviously there's time differences, but we can still meet you for a consult. And then from there, we'll work out how we get it to you. That's easy. We can always work out where there's a will, there's a way. And of course, we will be international one day, but, right now we are just Australia.
Well, maybe my listeners can help give you a little push to.
Spread the word of fresh face skin.
Exactly. It's just so brilliant to chat with you, Amelia. Your positivity about just skin and skincare and just your really down-to-earth way of explaining it. It has literally made me feel better about myself and my day. So thank you. Any last words? Any last, bit of inspiration?
It's been lovely chatting to you, Camille. I think it's great that you're able to support these many women on the lead up to their big day. No, I don't. I think it's just all about listening to your skin, listening to your body, trying to take a breath where you can. And I also think, just taking away skincare as like a superficial, vanity sort of thing that social media or influencers do, or TikTok showing us. It's actually so much more than that. It's actually, I love skincare personally, not only because it makes me feel good, because I really love not wearing makeup and just being myself, and it makes me feel more confident in my days when my skin's balanced. But deeper than that, I actually love putting aside 5 minutes in my morning and 5 minutes at night to slow down. And I think that's how I see skincare. I see it as a moment of not only self-care, but a moment to slow down and actually just breathe and cleanse my skin and think about my day, reflect, take a moment for myself. And for a lot of us, we don't get a lot of those moments when we're busy. So this could be a beautiful opportunity for many brides that are busy, that are juggling a lot, to slow down, to take a breath morning and night and do something for you. And that makes you feel good as well.
Cherry on top. Gorgeous. Thanks so much, Amelia. Have a brilliant day.
Thanks, Camille. It's been lovely.
Bye.
Bye.
That about wraps it up for this episode of the Unbridely podcast. For the links and resources we mentioned, please head to the show notes. And if you love the show, please review and subscribe on the podcast platform you're on now so you don't miss out on a single episode. Thanks so much for listening. And remember, weddings are a team sport. Catch you soon.